Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. We're late.
Yeah, I know. I wonder why you guys are late.
We couldn't see ourselves. We didn't know.
from the monitor.
Sorry. No, at least we're the same. It was just, I was like, oh my God.
We're the same. Ikaw yun na iba. Iniiwan mo kami sa ere, pao.
Does that mean ako yung mali? But of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I hope you get up and dancing this morning. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Rise and shine, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Let's go make your Thursday extra special with some good vibes, loads of inspiration, and unstoppable energy.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. So as you guys heard, we did start on a violent note this morning, especially since Paolo didn't want to join on the fun. You know, we're a morning show.
I know.
We have to bring the energy.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't want to dance with us. Tapos iniwan mo kami ni Mo sa
Yes,
ere by saying good morning
I
by
thought we
yourself.
were on air. And then I was like, oh my gosh, we hear it, but we don't see it.
I know.
In my defense, okay? In my defense, I was actually following the directions of our lovely floor director. She said go. Ako lang yung nag-go. Okay? So, sino yung mali dito? Okay?
Alam mo. So tomorrow,
Majority though, so...
I know, we're in sync, yeah. So tomorrow kasi is Valentine's Day, right? Today pala I found out is Galentine's Day.
What's that?
Galentine's Day is a day where women celebrate their friendships. So it's about women friendships and women supporting and uplifting each other. Kaya in sync kami ni Mo
Is
today.
Is this your way
It's
of telling me
Valentine's
to get
Day.
out of the show?
No, hindi. I just
Kasi-
said
That was not, oh, that was not me, ah. That was Anne.
No, we're celebrating pala today Galentine's Day. So, viewers, if you are meeting up with your girlfriends today, perfect because Galentine's Day
You
pala.
can
is
join
the day
Galentine's
Alam mo,
Day,
alam mo, buti na lang may weather ako mamaya. Kasi kapag nag-walk out ako dito, diretso na ako sa weather ko.
Bakit ka naman mag-walk out?
Watch this.
Tampuhin? Matampuhin?
Bye!
Halika na!
It's okay, you go stay there. We got this. And take it away.
Well, anyway, guys, let's start things off on a serious note. So I gotta wipe this smile off my face now. Senate President Cheese Escudero says it is the Senate that will decide when it will start the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte after it has gained jurisdiction of the case. Congress is adjourned and the Senate is unable to convene in plenary until June. But Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino believes the impeachment court should convene and take oath during 19th Congress. Former Senate President Tito Soto says it will be better to bring the matter before the Supreme Court.
Former presidential legal counsel Salvador Panelo slams the National Bureau of Investigation's move to recommend charges against Vice President Sara Duterte. Panelo says the NBI's suggestion to file charges against the Vice President are baseless. These include grave threats and inciting to sedition. The former chief presidential legal counsel says the move is, quote, tainted with politics. Panelo claims this is part of a demolition job to ruin VP Sara's chances heading to the 2028 polls. Duterte earlier said she is considering joining the 2028 presidential elections. So Paolo didn't leave because right now he's going to present our weather forecast from Weather HQ. Paolo, are you still there celebrating Galentine's all by yourself?
Happy Galentine's Day to those celebrating. Maraming salamat, Mo. Let's go focus on the local weather first because a low-pressure area, or LPA, being monitored outside the Philippine Air Force responsibility was last located 430 kilometers northwest of Pag-asa Island, right over here. Now, that is in Calayan, Palawan. Now, Pag-asa says that the chances of this LPA developing into a tropical cyclone has decreased, and it has no direct impact in the country. Now, currently, what is impacting the country is 3 weather systems today. Now, let's go on first to the extreme northern Luzon with the northeast monsoon weakening. The shear line is now influencing extreme northern Luzon, bringing cloudy skies with periods of scattered rains and rain showers and isolated thunderstorms, particularly in the Batanes and the Babuyan group of islands. Now, let's go down to Visayas and take a look at the Bicol region, Romblon, and the Visayas. Expect cloudy conditions with isolated rain showers due to the easterly wind, so all of these will be affected by that. As we go down south to Mindanao, the ITCZ, or Intertropical Convergence Zone, will cause cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms affecting the Caraga, Davao region, Camiguin, Misamis, Oriental, and Bukidnon. Now, for the rest of the country, you can expect fair weather throughout the entire day. Now, that's despite the LPA being right over there. Now, as for our sea conditions, let's take a look at that. A gale warning is up in the northern seaboard of extreme northern Luzon, particularly in Batanes. Mariners in this area are strongly advised not to venture out to sea due to the dangerous sea conditions, with wave heights reaching potentially 4.5 meters. Girls, happy Valentine's Day. Back to you.
The Commission on Elections is urging eligible voters to apply for local absentee voting in their Manila or local offices until March 7. This ensures that police officers, soldiers, teachers, government employees, and media personnel on duty during the May 12 elections can still exercise their right to vote ahead of time. The ballots for local absentee voting are separate from those used by regular voters and only covers national positions. Voting period is on April 28, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Attorney Noli Pipo on Wednesday took his oath as the new commissioner of the Commission on Elections. Chairman George Garcia led the oath-taking at the COMELEC headquarters in Intramuros, Manila. The new poll body commissioner has been with the COMELEC for over 30 years. He was appointed by PBBM on Monday, along with Commissioner Nori Tangaro Cignal.
Moving on to world news, after U.S. President Donald Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also given Hamas an ultimatum. Netanyahu warns Israel will resume military operations against the Palestinian militant group if it does not release hostages by midday Saturday. Hamas has been gradually freeing captives since the ceasefire in Gaza, which began in January 19. But it announced on Monday there will be no more releases until further notice, accusing Israel of violating the truce. Hamas also says Israel is further jeopardizing the ceasefire following Netanyahu's ultimatum.
U.S. President Trump not budging on his plan to take over Gaza. Trump reiterated this during a meeting with Jordan's King Abdullah at the Oval Office on Tuesday. He also insisted that Middle East states, including Jordan, must house displaced Palestinians.
We're going to have it, and we're going to keep it, and we're going to make sure that there's going to be peace, and there's not going to be any problem, and nobody's going to question it. And we're going to run it very properly, and eventually we'll have economic development at a very large scale, maybe the largest scale on that site. And we'll have lots of good things built there, including hotels and office buildings and housing and other things.
I think one of the things that we can do right away is take 2,000 children that are either cancer children or in a very ill state to Jordan as quickly as possible, and then wait for, I think, the Egyptians to present their plan on how we can work with the president to work on the Gaza challenges.
So
I want to tell you, excuse me, wait, just please. I didn't know that, what you just said, 2,000 children with cancer or other problems, and that's really a beautiful gesture. That's really good, and we appreciate it. And we'll be working on the rest with Egypt. I think you're going to see some great progress. I think with Jordan, you're going to see some great progress. The three of us.
We'll get more updates from the U.S. now on these stories. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in Washington to visit the White House. Meanwhile, U.S. President Trump says he wants to make the United States the cryptocurrency capital of the world. And the Republican president also moves to stop producing pennies. Voice of America correspondent Chris Casquejo joins us live from Washington, D.C. with the details. Hi, Chris. Good evening over there and good morning over here.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. I hope all is well. So, Chris, can you tell us what are the main issues the leaders of the U.S., which is President Trump and Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister of India, what will they be discussing during their meeting on Thursday, I believe?
Several things. Trade, immigration, strategic ties, and defense are expected to be at the top of the list when Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks with U.S. President Donald Trump tomorrow in D.C. at the White House. The two leaders shared warm ties in Trump's first term. However, the discussions on immigration and trade might be a little bit contentious as the two are among Trump's top priorities. He has called India a tremendous tariff maker. Earlier this month, New Delhi said it will lower import duties on some American exports, such as high-end motorcycles and cars, and analysts say India may be prepared to make other concessions. On illegal immigration, another source of tension, Modi has already offered concessions. India accounts for the largest group of illegal migrants to the United States outside of Latin America, and the Indian government has made it clear it will cooperate with President Trump's deportation drive. Now, last week, about 100 Indian deportees arrived back in India on a U.S. military plane. At the same time, India is seeking to protect legal channels of migration for skilled Indian workers on those so-called H-1B visas and students who are studying at American universities. India is also increasing its weapons purchasing and technology, and that's also likely to be discussed. Last month, President Trump called on Modi to buy more security equipment from the U.S., and New Delhi needs a range of weapons. And India and the U.S., of course, are partners in the Indo-Pacific, and analysts say the two countries are likely to remain aligned given the mutual concerns surrounding an increasingly aggressive China in that region.
Now, Chris, President Trump says he wants to make the United States the cryptocurrency capital of the world. Now, how is he putting his plan into place in the early weeks of his term?
Well, he's nominated members of his cabinet who are very pro-crypto. He's named a crypto czar, David Sachs. He's even issued his own coin, and he signed an executive order on cryptocurrency. Now, that executive order directs a working group to consider creating a national digital asset stockpile here in the U.S. from cryptocurrencies that have been seized by the U.S. government as part of any law enforcement actions. That order also ensures crypto firms access to banking services. Crypto companies have complained that banks have denied them accounts. An early legislative priority for lawmakers here involved stablecoins. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency whose value is pegged to a real-world asset, such as the U.S. dollar. And these stablecoins have been gaining popularity, but mostly overseas. Some lawmakers believe that U.S. issuing its own stablecoins could reinforce the dollar's dominance through digital finance. And supporters like David Sachs, the new crypto star, say it could lead to trillions of dollars in demand for the new dollar and lead to lower long-term interest rates here in the U.S. But some critics worry that breaking down the firewalls between the banking industry and cryptocurrency world comes with risks. Cryptocurrency critic Molly White said there has been a major focus of the crypto industry and is something we should be watching closely because of the risk of contagion from crypto markets, which are very volatile and prone to crashes.
You know, Chris, staying on the topic of currency, and we move on from crypto to, well, something that's more material right now, which are pennies. And if I'm not mistaken, U.S. President Donald Trump wants to stop producing them. Penny, for your thoughts, what's happening?
That's right. The days could be numbered for the 1 cent U.S. coin, the penny. The U.S. Mint has reported losing $85.3 million in the 2024 fiscal year on the nearly 3.2 billion pennies that it produced. Now, get this, every penny costs nearly 3.7 cents, up from 3.1 cents to produce, and that's what it cost the year before. The Mint also loses money on the 5 cent coin, the nickel, with each coin costing nearly 14 cents to make. Now, it's unclear whether Trump has the power to eliminate these coins. Congress dictates currency specifications, including the size and metal content of coins. Supporters of eliminating the coin have cited the cost savings, speedier checkouts at cash registers, and the fact that a number of countries have already gotten rid of their 1 cent coins. Now, Canada, for example, stopped minting the penny in 2012. And I can't even remember the last time I carried coins in my pocket. What about you?
Yeah, I never have coins, even here. I mean, we have a lot of coins here in the Philippines.
And it's so confusing. The coins here are confusing.
They are. They look the same.
Yeah.
I don't, well, arguable. But, no, just more on that, Chris, because you mentioned that, okay, this Congress will be, it is under the jurisdiction of Congress, and we're not quite sure what President Trump could directly do about it. But is there an actual groundswell of support for this particular proposal that he is trying to push?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on who you talk to. I mean, we cited the cost of producing the penny and the fact that a lot of people don't even carry around dollar bills, let alone coins. So, I mean, this is something that we're going to have to look at and see whether it gains support, especially within Congress. But, you know, I will have to say that the U.S. Congress is sometimes behind on the issues. There's a lot of octogenarians that are lawmakers. So, you know, I'm sure maybe some of them still carry money and some of them still carry coins.
Chris, start collecting your pennies, all right? You never know. You never know what a pretty penny might fetch in like 10 years, right?
No, honestly, I'm going to keep my piggy bank with me because I still have lots of pennies
All
and
right.
quarters. So we'll see.
I will pay pennies and nickels to see Paolo dance.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Chris. See,
You know what?
he is part of our
That's so
Galentine's.
interesting.
Yes.
Because that is not enough. But thank you so much, Chris.
You never know. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining our Galentine's Day and for being on our side. And as always, a pleasure having you, giving us updates all the way from the U.S. Voice of America correspondent, Chris Casquejo.
Good to be with you as always.
I feel attacked. Let's go and talk about sports instead. All right, in sports, Gilas Pilipinas is ramping their preparations for the final leg of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. The men's national basketball team is headed to Qatar to participate in a pocket tournament where they will face teams from Qatar, Lebanon, and Egypt from February 15 to the 17th. Gilas will tip off the February window against Chinese Taipei on February 20, and they will go to New Zealand to take on the Tall Blacks on February 23rd. Shifting gears, literally, to motorsports. Filipino racer Bianca Bustamante is ready to begin a new chapter in her racing career. The 20-year-old says goodbye to McLaren as she gears up for the GB3 championship with Elite Motorsport. This comes as Bustamante's tenure at the F1 Academy came to a natural close. Bustamante made history as McLaren's first ever female driver in their driver development program. Bianca will race in the upcoming GB3 season alongside rising stars such as F1 Academy champion Abby Pulling.
In other news, socialite Tessa Prieto says she has decided to come out and share her experience to help other women who went through an abusive relationship. Prieto tells BNC's Agenda this is the reason why she filed a case against her former partner. The socialite has accused Angel or Angel Chua of repeated physical abuse in their 11-month relationship.
I'm here to really share my experience and to share na mga women, no matter what age or profession and everything, you always have the right, a human right to speak up.
The socialite/fashion icon is also facing 2 legal battles, including a syndicated estafa case. But Prieto says these allegations are baseless. She explains she was not involved in any fraudulent business transaction.
On to some lighter news because pop diva and our Christmas queen, Mariah Carey, might soon add Hall of Famer to her long list of accomplishments. Carey is among the nominees for this year's Class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Other nominated acts include Cyndi Lauper and rock acts Oasis, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. First-time nominees include Billy Idol and rap duo Outkast. Artists must have released their first commercial recording at least 25 years before they're eligible for induction. The 2025 inductees will be revealed in late April.
Well, how's your luck shaping up this Thursday? Feng Shui Master Hans Kua has the answers as he joins us for our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. At ito po ang horoscope for the day sa araw ng Huwebes, February 13. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, ang pagiging masinop at maingat sa finances ang susi sa financial stability. Orange at 4. Sa Oksama, huwag kalimutan na i-celebrate ang small wins. They are step to bigger success. Silver at 8. Sa Tiger naman ang magandang panahon upang magbigay na appreciation kay partner. Gold at 9. Rabbit naman tayo, ang iyong desisyon sa making skills ay magiging susi sa success ng iyong proyekto. Yellow at 3. Dragon naman tayo, iwasan na ang pagkain ng junk food at unahin ang home-cooked na meals. Red at 5. Sa snake naman tayo, huwag matakot mag-suggest ng process for improvement. White at 7. Ito naman! Say of the horsey, maglaan ng oras para mag-recharge upang maging productive ang trabaho. Blue at 6. Sa ship naman isang taong matagal nang may gusto sa'yo ang magpaparamdam. Yihi! Pink at 9. Sa monkey naman magpakita ng confidence sa pag-handle ng isang bagong task. Purple at 4. Sa rooster naman mag-research tungkol sa mga bagong business trends. Green at 1. Dog naman regular na papacheck up upang maagapan ang anumang mga karamdaman. Pink at 6. Sa pig naman magplano ng maayos na retirement plan habang maaga pa. Orange at 8. Muli po paalala lang to, ito po ay mga gabay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua.
And don't miss your daily horoscope forecast with Feng Shui Master Hans Kua only here on It's a Beautiful Day. All right, all joking aside, I love
He finally
Coach
matched her
Hans,
energy.
Master Hans energy. I love Master Hans energy every time.
Yeah.
He makes my day.
Yes, he brings the energy. Ang galing niya.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, we were so energized already, both of us, and watching Master Hans, we got even more energized.
Yes.
And he brought you more energy, so thank you, Master Hans,
Yeah,
for
And
that.
I always watch out for my horoscope every time we have that segment.
So what was your horoscope today?
Today, meron daw someone who likes me na magpaparamdam.
Wow.
And my lucky color is pink. My lucky number is 9.
Who's
See,
gonna
I
make
was
for
paying-
Asawa niya.
I don't know.
Valentine's Day magpaparamdam
Si
siya.
Alvin.
Sana naman yung
I know,
asawa
I
niya.
hope he's the only one.
Ay, yeah, he's the only one who
Alvin,
likes me.
text mo na, please. All right. So, up next, critically acclaimed musical Next to Normal. An unflinching look at mental health gets a limited run in Manila. We'll talk to the directors and one of the cast members after the break. It's a Beautiful Day. We'll be right back.
Former President Duterte and Congressman Ungab disclosed that the 2025 General Appropriations Act had several blank areas in the budget. Do you think it's accurate, and Do you think the claim that the GAA would be unenforceable is correct?
Well, ako, honestly, I haven't seen the GAA yet.
Wala pang printed copy after it was passed.
Yes, so wala pang printed copy. If indeed the story of merong mga blanco is true, mali yun. And that should
Is that
be
the first time that
invalidated.
that would have happened in the history of the
If
Philippines?
yes, if this was true, maybe. This is the first time I ever heard of this being done. Kasi I've been a member of Congress since 1998 and I haven't actually, in fairness naman, I cannot really categorically say that this particular budget for 2025 is flawed because I'm not a member of the BICAM.
Beauty, adventure.
I do agree with that. I would rather spend my money on travel.
We got you. Join Marie Lozano where she uncovers the untold stories and surprises in the world of lifestyle.
Let me get my geek on. That was so amazing.
The Lifestyle Lab on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. At BNC, 12 noon doesn't mean break. We're always ready to give you the latest news, even at noon.
And those are the news this hour. Here at home, the Commission on Elections assures the Public Attorney's Office files new complaints. NGCP assures the public its Chinese investors are no threat.
Join Maya Rodriguez, delivering fresh news for you. Newsfeed at noon.
Keep it here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
This Valentine's Day, let's celebrate love in all its beautiful forms. Whether it's romance, friendship, or family, love makes every moment special. From our hearts to yours, happy Valentine's Day. From the filing of candidacies until the last ballot is counted, your newest trusted news source, BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, will be at the forefront to guide your decisions and guard your vote. Tune in to BNC's Election 2025 special coverage.
And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Tony and Pulitzer Award-winning musical Next to Normal arrives in the Philippines, or rather has already arrived, starring seasoned Filipino artists and directed by well-respected directors, as it should be. They join us live this morning, artist Oj Mariano and production designer Mark Dalacat. Magandang umaga. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a beautiful day.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, OJ, I want to start off with you first because this is one of my personal favorite musicals. I saw it back in 2011, and even though I saw it back in 2011, it's stuck with me even though I saw it once. For those wondering why this is a special musical, what would you say is the case?
Oh, wow. Without revealing any spoilers, I guess, it's a highly dynamic musical, and it talks about family relationships. And it has so much truth in humanity and family relationships. I don't know how to describe it without giving a spoiler.
Exactly.
But, well, it deals with mental health issues.
Yeah.
And how one person deals with it and the whole family around it kind of like circumvents around the situation for the person, the support of the family. Basta it just has so much truth in humanity that it's just a really palpable piece of theater that one should really support and watch.
Well, and speaking of mental health, I like that you mentioned that because this play is heavy on mental health and grieving, right? So I think this play did start with mental health discussions back in 2009 when it launched. Is it still the same message to this day, or did you have to cater it differently? Because, you know, the Philippines is still not there when it comes to mental health discussions. So did you guys have to tweak it a bit for the Filipino audiences?
Not much tweaking, I guess, but maybe Mark can.
I guess this opened in Broadway in 2009. Even in that setting, in that time, the mental health discussion is very different from now.
Right.
And then, so taking that into consideration and taking that into the Filipino context of today, yes, the team has made very deliberate choices in dealing with this material right now for this specific audience, the Gen Z audience. And I guess what's different is that at least this generation has the language, the capability to understand, because they have the language on this issue, on mental health, on loss, on grieving, on safe spaces. So I guess that's what's different for this iteration, is that we know our audience has the language for it, and we can freely talk about it on stage.
Now, this play had runs also in other countries, in the US, in the UK, China, Peru. How is it important that the Filipino audience sees this play, this story as well?
Oh, this is very Filipino. So as Paolo mentioned, this material, Next to Normal, already had the production here, directed by Bobby Garcia in 2011. It's very important because it is Filipino in the sense that it talks about the family.
It's family-centric.
It's very family-centric, and how mental health issues, how does a family deal with that?
Right.
So I guess all the emotions and all the feels, every one of us can relate to it immediately, because it's our neighbors, it's our brothers, it's our sisters, it's our mom and our dads, and how we deal with them every day.
Yeah. OJ, I want to ask you because, again, having seen the musical in the past and being familiar with the material, we joke that it's light, but it's not. It's incredibly heavy. And I can only imagine the rehearsal process when you're getting to know all these people that you're working with, and at the same time going into the character that you have to get into. Kamusta ka naman? How have you, endured it, to really co-opted it to be your character, and of course, be ready to perform at that emotional level every single time?
Should I be honest? Well, I take it by the day, but at the same time, I think it's that weight of the responsibility of an actor when you encounter these kinds of materials and these kinds of roles. You really have to get into it. You really have to invest your 110% in the material, because you have to give it justice. You have to speak the truth of the character, speak the truth of the dynamic of the character and the relationships around it. So, to sum up, I'm not okay every after run, but we do these exercises. We have like the breath of fire,
breathing exercises,
we have
grounding
lots
exercises.
Of hugs. We have lots of hugs after the show.
Just to let go of that energy, because you get sucked into it, especially if you're also going through, personal problems in your own families, right? So you told us that you are already on your third
weekend. This coming weekend.
Yeah, third weekend. How has the reception been so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. We were, Toph De Venecia, the directors and the creators, are very conscious about it, in the sense that, we don't know how this material is going to be received again, since it had a 2011 run. So everyone has a preconceived notion of what it is and what it talks about, and we had a very fresh take on it. So we're just not completely different, but a really fresh take on it.
Okay.
And so it's been amazing to receive all the comments that are saying that there are audience members who come up to the cast, come up to OJ after the show, and then give them letters and talking about how seen they felt after watching the material. And Paolo was talking about how heavy it is, but towards the end, audiences would always come to the cast, come towards us and say how enlightening and how strengthening the material is after watching it. So that's very important, and very excited for the other reception that we'll receive the next 2 weekends that we'll run.
We actually have some audience members who flew in from different parts of the country.
Yeah, we had one from Singapore, came in back home to Manila. We had one from Davao and Cebu. Just came in to watch the show.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah, we want to watch the show too eventually.
please do.
Please
we
do.
will
Please
before
do.
it ends. But Mark, I want to ask you. You mentioned earlier you guys have a fresh take on this play. So you designed the set. Walk us through how you conceptualized the design.
Oh, so it was very easy to be working with Toph De Venecia and EJ Yatko, our musical director. It was really just a conversation back and forth, and then we finally hit the nail. So the design is really just a room. It's this semi-permeable room where the emotions and the entrances of all the characters just come in. And so when you enter the theater, it's like really coming into this room with this family, and you'll sit with them, and then you'll listen with them, you'll cry with them. So that's really the intent.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna cry with them. I promise
my
you're going to. But let's give credit as well to some of the other cast members: Nikki Valdez, Sheila Valderrama, Floyd Tena, and Sheena Bellarmino, as well as Jam Binay. Can you tell us a bit more about them and give them their flowers as well? Because I'm sure they're amazing.
One of the more beautiful things about this show, it has a company of excellent artists and actors. I can't help but be inspired by working with them every day. The rehearsal process was...
No, it was immaculate.
It was just amazing. Kasi merong contribution from each actor. This cast, we actually have an alternate cast. So it's 2 sets.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped the process as well, because you see 2 people creating, collaborating, and at the same time, you see 2 versions of the characters.
I mean, it's just fantastic. Again, just seeing all that collaboration. Are there any artists in particular that you felt that you connected with the most in a way that you didn't realize that it would turn out the way it did on stage? Because typically there is 1 or 2 na feeling mo like, uy, sakto yan na. Like yung connection natin.
You mean character in the show?
Without giving too much.
Without giving too much away.
I really connected with the son role. And especially the wife, of course, it's a given.
Yeah.
But the son role is like...
That's interesting. Now, for those who are wondering why that's interesting, you have to watch it.
You have to watch it. Come on.
So I want to talk about it without giving spoilers.
I'm dying right now to do that.
I want to know, but I'm going to ask both of you. So I'm going to start with Mark. What is the biggest maybe thing you've learned about yourself through this whole process, or that this play has taught you?
Oh, that's a tough question.
OJ, you got time to think about it.
There's a lot.
There's a question.
There's a lot. But it made me really be thankful for every day that I'm with my family. That's it.
OJ?
Well, coming from a personal, I actually lost my parents last year, and since the musical talks about grief greatly, I was at first very hesitant to take on the project, but wow, what's with the music?
I know, right? Cue the tear.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm
Direk,
grabe. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, the hesitation was really there. I think it took 2 calls from Toph for me to finally convince myself to take on the project. But at the same time, I think it was a crucial part of my healing journey, which is still I'm in the process of. But at the same time, I think I needed all of these emotions, all of these experiences to give the most truth that I can give the character, which I couldn't deny destiny giving me this opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, again, this deals with mental health. When I saw back in 2011, I that's literally the one thing that stuck out to me. But then I think right now in 2025, it seems a bit more relevant considering how open more people are now open compared to at least 2011 in terms of talking about mental health. Do you feel that for those who are struggling to at least having a conversation about it, that this, not saying that this is doctor recommended, pero that this could actually help in terms of starting that conversation?
It can be instrumental. It is actually very open nowadays because the audiences that we have had in the past performances, they are very upfront about their mental health issues. Actually, even some of us in the production are very open about. I think that's what really helped the community that we have right now. We all have our struggles with mental health issues, with grief or whatever family problems that we have, issues. It's can you help me here?
But first, during the entire process, Toph and I were very adamant that we need to provide the support for this cast for the entire process.
Right.
So the Sandbox Collective has been gracious enough to partner with Sulong Pilipinas so that we have hotlines, we have therapists on standby.
Medical City as well.
Medical City as well. And of course, us as a company, we wanted it to be just a safe space for everyone to just be open about what they're going through. We have check-ins every rehearsal. We did sound bowls. We did sound bowls and saging every before and after rehearsals. And there was a very, very huge amount of effort to be put in the rehearsal space to just lift everyone up.
Yeah.
And for it to be a very light experience for everyone.
You know, OJ, Mark, we're not done with you yet. We're going to dive more into it later on because our conversation with Oj Mariano and Mark Dalacat continues after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day, and we are still joined by artist Oj Mariano and production designer and associate director Mark Dalacat of the play Next to Normal. Now, Oj, apart from your theater endeavors, you are also part of the renowned vocal group The Company.
Yes.
Right? You know, I had the honor of guesting members of The Company on my radio show before, but that was before you joined the group. So I talked to Moy and Cecil and Annie. And Cecil also sang Muntik na Kitang Minahal. Tama ba? Yeah,
Yes,
Muntik na
yes,
Kitang
yes.
Minahal on air. Now, how are things going with the group?
Oh,
Ang tagal na ng The Company. My goodness.
Actually, The Company is celebrating its 40th year.
Wow.
Oh, you're not 40 naman, right?
Wow.
I am.
No, you're not. You haven't been performing with them for 40 years.
No. I'm
You
the youngest.
joined,
I'm the youngest.
you joined the group 2015. Am I correct? Yeah.
Ayun.
Okay.
If I had been with the group since it started, I would have been 5 years old.
There you go.
Not to diss on no other members. It's just the truth.
So how's the group going? And I know that you're coming out with an album as
Yes.
well, right?
30th studio album.
Okay.
Full album.
And we love the name.
Yeah, the name.
It's a beautiful,
Beautiful
day. Yeah. So we should collab.
That's why they're working here. They're guesting here because it's a beautiful day.
right.
Yes,
It's inevitable.
What can we expect from the album?
It's a concept album made by under Star Music, inspirational mostly. Covers of songs that are naturally inspirational, and some of them were like pop classics, pop hits that were turned into inspirational songs, like given new attacks, given new takes.
Now, Mark, what about you? Are you working on any new plays after this?
So I'm going back to my home base, which is Dulaang UP. I'm doing a Mga Anak ng Unos, which is a twin bill of 2 one-act plays. And I'm also doing the set design for Tanghalang Ateneo's next production, Ningning sa Silangan.
All right. But Katipunan's a place to be right now for theater, apparently. As someone from Taft. Of course, si Direk of de Venecia is also an advocate of the Eddie Garcia bill. And I'm sure theater performers and production are impacted by it. Can you share a bit of your thoughts on yung advocacy niya?
We're very thankful about Congressman Toff for advocating the creative industries in Congress. And he's been, I think, the most hardworking congressman I've ever seen. I mean, directing on the side and doing all his responsibilities in Congress and putting up this bill and supporting the arts in general. It's just, we're just thankful as theater artists for a bill like that.
Feels like a long time coming.
Yes, it does. But we're thankful that it's here now, finally.
OJ, you have performed with the company, of course, in acclaimed international acts as part of, being part of the renowned vocal group. And you also had a gig with David Benoit.
Oh my God. Yes.
What was it like working with these icons?
It's surreal.
Yeah.
It is just beyond. I can't even fathom how I was reacting at that particular moment, but the one with David Benoit was like really, really special to me because I got to sing one of my favorite songs of his. Actually, a couple of them. Take a Look Inside My Heart and You Never Loved Me the Same Way Twice.
You should sing for us this morning. Give us a sample. Give us a sample.
An animal dance, alternative dance.
Something from the show, maybe? No. You Never Loved Me the Same Way Twice it's one of his lesser known songs. But
Really?
Yeah.
So why did that stick with you?
It's just, aside from the beautiful melody, it's just a really nice song. It's super romantic. It talks about romance and love that's never repeated. It's always fresh and new every single day.
Oh, wow.
What year was this? The David Benoit?
This was released, I think, late 1970s or early 80s.
No, but when you're working with them, what year was
that? It was just last year.
Just last year.
That's so recent.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Is there one that you want to collab with in the future, your dream collab?
Ooh. As a member of the company, collab with an international act, maybe the Pentatonics.
Oh, yes.
That would be amazing.
Actually, yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
Oh my gosh. What about you, Mark? What would your dream, maybe not
Production.
collab, production be?
Yeah.
There's a list.
There is a list.
Okay, give us your top 5.
But I want to work with Angels in America.
Okay.
Part 1 and part 2 in tandem. So that's gonna be one of the dream productions to be working on.
Mark, you've directed a couple of productions already. Is Next to Normal one of the most challenging ones?
Oh yes, I can easily say yes.
Yeah.
One, it's a difficult material to work with. You need all the right elements for it to work. Yes, we are talking about how heavy it is, but also there's this uplifting quality to it that needs to be there. And if you don't hit that, the material is just not gonna work. And thankfully, with this company, with this cast, with this creative team, with Toff de Venecia helming all of us together, we were able to hopefully, if you get to watch, we were able to make that happen.
I think the difficult part about this musical in particular is the level of control that the artists need to have once they actually perform. Because it's so easy to just be emotional.
Yes,
yun na lang.
definitely.
But then you miss all the nuances in every performance kung wala. Tama ba?
It's all those fine-tuning that needs to happen because we went there for some of our run-throughs. The cast just needs to go to that emotion, and then that's when you know where to turn the dials down, and then just to make things work for this scene and that scene. Because if all the characters just keep on crying from Act 1 to Act 2, it's not a fun
It's going to be exhausting.
It's not a fun show. It's exhausting for them. It's exhausting for the audience. So, it was all of the rehearsal process was that finding
and you have
the
to
right
play for
balance.
truth, because in real life we don't cry naman every second,
Yeah.
every minute of the day.
It's I forgot it's the coping that actually makes it real. Yeah, it's the coping
Makes
that makes
it more
real.
interesting.
Yeah, we've got a persistent request right now from our production. Kung
Yeah,
pwede
they're like
magpasample
whispering in
ng
our ear. They want to
konti
hear you
from,
sing.
Next to Normal. If there's something that you could do.
From the show.
Yes.
Since you mentioned A Light in the Dark, it's one of my favorites.
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
One light shines in the drive, One single sign that our house is alive, our house, our own. So why do I live there alone? Tell me why I wait through the night. Why do I leave on the light? You know, I know, our house was a home long ago.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Anne's gonna
I'm gonna cry.
If only you knew.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Guys,
That's why I had to stop because it's going.
Manood mo kayo. I cannot
now we have to watch.
emphasize that enough kasi I mean, like, if you like that and you like how it sounded and you like the lyrics, when you know the context of what's actually happening,
Oh my goodness.
oh my goodness.
I don't, because when you were telling us about the gist of this story, I was already thinking, because I'm a mom, and I also, experienced losing a parent because my dad died, but that was many years ago, but you never get over it.
You never get over
Diba? You never. So I can just imagine if people going through grief try to watch this play, the emotions that are gonna come out as they're watching it. Now, Mark, you and Directov, what were the challenges that you had to face as you created and put together this whole play?
Oh, amazingly, not much.
Wow,
okay.
Not much. It was the usual challenges like schedule.
Yeah.
Going into the theater,
yeah.
technicals. It's all the usual problems that you'll get if you're doing theater production. But for the entire duration of the process, because both of us, we love the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
We live in the process. Sometimes the shows really are just still part of the process, but the initial rehearsal process is what's driving us forward. So during this entire time up to now, it's just been great. It's just been amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, do you have any advice for those who are aspiring to be a director or a broad design?
Just find your inner voice. What do you want to say? So there are a lot of designers right now, and there are a lot of directors, and ultimately your truth will shine no matter what.
And then, OJ, what about you? For aspiring theater actors, what would you recommend, or what advice would you give them?
Just ride with your passion. It ultimately propels you into bigger, higher places. And always do it with heart. Do it with heart.
And care.
And care.
Importante yung care.
Yes.
We look at the fact that dumadami na yung mga local productions in
Yeah.
general. There are more acts coming up. I also believe it's because there are more spaces compared to there was back
And it's
in
a wonderful
2011.
thing. Theater here.
What could you give us,
Thriving.
siguro, an overview of what you guys think is the status of Philippine theater at the moment?
Ako muna? Okay. It's a sector that's becoming a full-blown industry.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to be part of it. But there are things that needs to be done, like the Eddie Garcia bill is there, potentially can help us. But we need more assistance. We need more eyes on this industry because it has this capacity for tourism building. It can be a destination, and it's happening right now. People, at least Filipinos living abroad are coming back here, coming back home to just watch a show for the weekend. People coming from Davao, Cebu, and all parts of the Philippines just to watch shows in Manila. So it really has that potential, and I hope we get the support that it needs.
We have a wealth of talent here kasi in the Philippines. I mean, proof lang, some of the shows in like Singapore or Hong Kong, they would get Filipino actors to act in them.
And creatives.
And creatives. So we're all thankful that it's becoming a highly competitive industry, and somehow it's lucrative na now.
It is.
Yeah, compared to before.
Buti pa kayo. No, but all joke. But then again, congratulations on Next to Normal.
Thank you so much.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, that is Oj Mariano and Mark Dalacat, and you can catch Next to Normal, which will run until February 23 at the Power Max Center, Black Box Theater in Ayala Malls Circuit, Makati. You can see the details over there, all the contacts as well, and I encourage you all to go check it out. As someone who's seen it back in 2011, I can't get it out of my head in 2025.
Well, we all three should definitely set a date to go.
Please.
Yeah,
please.
we will. We'll
We will,
see you. We
definitely.
definitely will.
Definitely.
But don't go away, guys, because we've got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb. At ako naman si Corina Sanchez Rojas. Simulan na natin ang agenda. Inisnab ng mga social media influencer ang unang pagdinig ng Kamara tungkol sa fake news. Nagbabala ang World Bank na maaaring maging kulelat ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas kumpara sa ibang ASEAN nations. Mga sangkot sa vote buying mahaharap sa mas mabigat na parusa. Sa bawat issue, may anggulo at ang balita may...
Hello, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now we got some more news for you. The U.S. president and his billionaire backer slamming U.S. aid during their White House meeting. Trump and Tesla founder Elon Musk described the foreign aid agency as corrupt and incompetent. Musk heads the Department of Government Efficiency, tasked by Trump to slash federal spending.
I think that there's some worthy things, but overall, if you say what was the bang for the buck, I would say it was not very good. And there was far too much of what USAID was doing was influencing elections in ways that I think were dubious and do not stand the light of day.
When you look at USAID, that's one. We're going to look at the military. We're going to look at education. They're much bigger areas, but the USAID is really corrupt. I'll tell you, it's corrupt. It's incompetent, and it's really corrupt. We have massive amounts of fraud that we caught. I think we probably caught way over a lot of billions of dollars already in, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And it's going to go to numbers that you're not going to believe.
The Trump administration says it will keep looking into government contracts after finding alleged abuse, fraud, and kickbacks worth billions of dollars. But at the same time, it will abide by the courts if judges rule to stop the investigations. Earlier, a U.S. district judge temporarily blocked the Department of Government Efficiency's access to the U.S. Treasury systems used to process trillions of dollars in payments, granting a win to Democratic attorneys general from 19 states who filed a lawsuit.
But we're talking about tens of billions of dollars that we've already found. And now a judge who's an activist judge wants to try and stop us from doing this. Why? Why would they want to do that? I campaigned on this. I campaigned on the fact that I said government is corrupt. And it is very corrupt. It's very, very, it's also foolish. We're finding tremendous fraud and tremendous abuse. If I need a vote of Congress to find fraud and abuse, it's fine with me. I think we'll get the vote, although there'll be some people that wouldn't vote. And how could a judge want to hold us back from finding all of this fraud and finding all of this incompetence? I always abide by the courts, and then I'll have to appeal it. But then what he's done is he slowed down the momentum, and it gives crooked people more time to cover up the books.
Let's take a look at the global weather. Bolivia is on alert after heavy rains killed 24 people and displaced hundreds, with La Paz being the hardest hit region. In Tipuani, residents sought refuge in a church due to flooding. The Meteorological Service issued an orange alert for swollen rivers, including the Tipuani. Deputy Minister of Civil Defense Juan Carlos Calvimontes confirmed that 8 of 9 regions were affected and warned that rain would continue through February and possibly into March. Snow covering Pantops, Virginia, as a powerful winter storm swept through the U.S., leading the National Weather Service to issue widespread warnings. This storm brought hazardous travel and icy conditions to many regions. Ahead of the storm, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin declared a state of emergency on February 10, deploying state resources to assist local authorities and reduce the storm's effects. Over in Brazil, Shakira fans gathered outside Rio's Nilton Santos Stadium, braving 35 degrees Celsius heat, to see the singer's first tour in 7 years. Organizers set up hydration stations and sprayed water on fans, some of whom camped out for days. Despite the heat, fans wearing purple wigs and waving Colombian flags sang her hits. The concert marked Shakira's return, promoting her new album and celebrating her 30-year career.
In other news, Leapmotor, the Chinese partner of Stellantis, unveils a new electric vehicle. The B10 is Leapmotor's first EV model, equipped with features like an urban traffic smart driving capability. It's priced at 150,000 yuan, or more than 1.1 million pesos. Its pre-sale starts on March 10, while Leapmotor aims to officially release it in April.
Even with the hurdles the luxury car industry is facing, Bilyonaryo Willie T10, who's in charge of AutoHub group of companies, is optimistic about the market as they roll out new models. Now, our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga, gives us the highlights.
Pagani, Rolls-Royce, Mini. These are just some of the luxury car brands sold under the AutoHub group, led by Bilyonaryo Willie T10. While he says 2024 ended with average sales, citing a few economic bumps, AutoHub brands still perform better than in 2023.
AutoHub Group is one of the Philippines' top automotive dealers, bringing premium car brands to the country for almost 3 decades. T10 shares that this year, the industry is facing challenges such as tougher competition, higher interest rates, and rising costs.
For 2025, the company remains optimistic as it marks its 26th anniversary.
We're here to grow with the market. Hopefully everything will turn out better. Hopefully interest rates would go down. Competition is really, really tough. There's so many brands coming in, diba? So the margins are really, really small. So that's the one that is a challenge for automotive dealers, no? So we hope that things will get better, but the biggest is still the interest.
To kick off the year, T10 unveils the all-electric Mini Aceman, highlighting its low charging costs and big savings for owners. He encourages people to try out electric vehicles, though he acknowledges the lack of charging stations is still a major hurdle, and calls for government support in the form of incentives.
I would suggest both sides do not wait. The charging station owners should try to build charging stations. The EV owners or the future EV owners should consider buying EV now, and so that sabay na lang instead of waiting for each other. But again, this will only happen if the government will really strongly support the EV charging stations.
Also sharing the spotlight is the all-new Cooper 5-door, launched alongside the Aceman to celebrate Mini's 15th year in the Philippines.
We're also celebrating the spirit of big love that defines Mini. Whether it's through innovation, sustainability, or the thrill and longing of driving the Mini. Mini has always been here. It has always been about community, connection, and creativity.
The Aceman is priced at 3,550,000 pesos, while the Cooper 5-door goes for 3,799,000 pesos. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
The government launched a trade show in the hopes of turning Filipino-made products into truly world-class commodities. Sujin Kim reports.
As the food and beverage industry continues to expand, the Department of Trade and Industry is pushing for the widespread adoption of advanced machinery for food processing and packaging, aiming to boost production efficiency while minimizing waste and energy consumption. This initiative coincides with the launch of ProPac Philippines 2025, the country's largest food processing and packaging trade show, featuring over 250 companies from 25 countries and attracting more than 12,000 trade buyers. The DTI acknowledges that the Philippines is lagging behind in product packaging compared to its regional counterparts.
In truth, we are lagging behind. Sometimes if you put two products that's side by side, the packaging of one is better, but ours tastes better. But since the packaging is nicer on sometimes with our counterparts, yun ang nabibili rather than ours.
Beyond improving packaging, the industry is also focusing on sustainability in the production process, responding to growing market demands.
Of things happening now with regards to packaging, especially in plastics, sustainability is no longer a trend in packaging. It is a necessity. Consumers are increasingly demanding eco-friendly choices, and businesses are facing growing pressure to reduce their environmental footprint.
In line with this, the DTI is also advocating for repair and after-sales services for machinery procured for shared service facilities or SSF.
Ang basic requirement ko lang ngayon for us to be able to buy these machines as a shared service facility is they must have repair and yung after-sales service. Kasi sometimes the machines are running and then pag na-stuck, wala na siyang pyesa, wala na siyang parts, wala na rin siyang repair. And we also need to constantly train the people or the MSMEs that will use these machines.
Among the government-supplied machinery under the SSF program provided for free to MSMEs are packaging, printing, bottling, and cold storage equipment.
We are opening doors to a future of innovation, collaboration, sustainable growth, and of course, advancement in the industries, which is something that we very much need here in the Philippines.
Let us continue to work together to push for the boundaries of packaging excellence and create solutions that drive both industry growth and environmental sustainability.
Sujin Kim, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Up next, find out who won this year at the world's most distinguished dog show. That story and more after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Hello there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. A bit of some serious business. As expected, that is the reaction of Vice President Sara Duterte after the National Bureau of Investigation recommends filing cases against her for threatening to kill the first couple and Speaker Martin Romualdez. Hannah T has more.
Sir, for the record, she is the first Vice President po na nag-recommenda kayo na mag-file ng charges.
Yes, kasi siya ang first Vice President na nag-threaten sa Presidente. Wala namang dati.
After more than 2 months of investigation, the NBI says it has gathered enough evidence to recommend filing cases against Vice President Sara Duterte. The VP is facing possible charges of grave threats and inciting to sedition. The recommendation stems from a Zoom press conference held by VP Sara in November 2024. In that conference, she claimed she spoke to someone about killing President Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and House Speaker Martin Romualdez if she were assassinated.
Na-incite yung kanyang mga followers, yung mga ibang tao na para bang gusto na nilang mag-alsa. Yung threat niya ay nalathala naman eh. Sinabi niya, no joke, 2 beses pa. So we take that seriously.
The NBI sent 2 subpoenas to VP Sara last year for her side of the story, but failed to appear on both occasions.
Kung nakipag-participate sa amin sa investigation, siguro maaaring maiba or what. But then, sabi ko nga, she waived her right to express her side. Kaya ayun, nag-depend kami sa mga evidence na present, sa mga testimonies na present, doon lamang kami nag-base.
If these cases push through, the penalty for grave threats could be as long as 12 years in prison. Since the alleged crime was committed online, it could also fall under the Cybercrime Prevention Act, which carries an enhanced penalty. Meanwhile, inciting to sedition has a penalty of 4 to 6 years.
Kami, sa panig namin, iniisip namin at naniniwala kami na sapat ang aming mga ebidensyang inilatag.
NBI Director Jaime Santiago stressed the investigation was impartial and that the decision to recommend charges was unanimous among him and other 5 NBI lawyers.
Gusto ko ito yung manatili na pinagkakatiwalaan ng tao na kami ay apolitical, straightforward. Wala sa aming nag-utos, wala sa aming nagdikta kung ano ang dapat gawin sa kaso.
But he admits that the final decision to file charges lies with the Department of Justice.
Kung ang DOJ ay makakita ng prima facie evidence that magkakaroon ng certainty of conviction, ipapile nila ang kaso. Pero kung walang certainty of conviction, maaaring maibasura rin yung kaso na aming inirecommend, ipinail.
The National Prosecution Service declined to comment further, saying it doesn't want to preempt the outcome of the evaluation or affect any party's rights. The NBI also pointed out that the timeline for the investigation now depends on the DOJ. VP Sara was not surprised by the NBI's recommendation. Her brief statement sent to the media simply read as expected. The articles of impeachment filed against VP Sara also include these allegations of inciting to sedition and grave threats. The impeachment was endorsed by more than 200 members of the House of Representatives. Hannah T., Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino believes the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte should start in the 19th Congress. But Senate President Chis Escudero insists it's up to the upper chamber to decide when it will begin. Agatha Gregorio has the details.
As more and more people weigh in on whether or not the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte can still be done in the present Congress, the Senate President's answer is a simple one. It's for the Senate to decide on the matter.
Meron ng jurisdiction ang Senado dyan sa kasong yan dahil tinanggap na namin eh. Mag-convene man o hindi yung korte to receive evidence, mag-iiso na ng mga jurisdictional orders ang impeachment court na ito. Kaugnay ng pagpapasagot, napag-usapan na natin yan, pagpapasagot sa nasasakdal at paghingi ng tugon doon ng prosecution naman.
With Congress adjourned, the Senate is unable to convene in plenary until June. Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino believes the impeachment court should convene and senator judges take oath during the 19th Congress. Senate President Chis Escudero had said the trial will begin after the 4th SONA of the Chief Executive in July.
But I agree and respect the decision of SP that the trial should proceed after SONA kung yun yung gusto niya. Pero yung sinasabi ko ay baka meron ding various opinions coming from mga constitutionalists, perhaps even the side of the accused herself can raise an issue.
Tolentino adds impeachment proceedings begin when the court convenes, and only then can they ask for the response of the vice president. But for Escudero, this can already be done even without convening as a pre-trial matter.
When you say without convening as an impeachment court, by analogy, let's use the current courts. Nando na kasi yung korte. So mag-i-issue siya ng mga order, yung judge, bago pa mag-trial. Hindi pa naman technically trial yung pag-issue ng summons eh. When you say trial shall forthwith, trial means reception of evidence. Wala pa tayong reception of evidence.
But Tolentino says there may be jurisdictional issues should the Supreme Court ask the Senate to take action on the impeachment immediately. For former Senate President Tito Soto, it would be best to bring the issue to the Supreme Court now. Some have said the Senate is a continuing body that stands even after the 19th Congress ends and the 20th Congress begins with newly elected members.
Mabuti pa, tanungin na. Justiciable yung issue eh. Kaya pwedeng i-take up talaga ng maaga ng Supreme Court yun. Makakatawid ba o hindi? Based on those two rules, both of the impeachment court, the rules of the Senate as an impeachment court, and the rules of the Senate as a legislative body.
As questions arise on whether or not the trial should start immediately, due to the word forthwith in the Constitution, Tolentino emphasizes the right of anyone accused to a speedy trial. But if a month has passed with no action, the senator says perhaps it would be time to clarify what the word truly means. Agatha Gregorio, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
The Princess of Wales visits a women's prison in Cheshire. Kate met with inmates and spent time in the mother and baby unit. There, she was briefed by staff over the services they provide to incarcerated mothers with children younger than 18 months.
I think the Princess's visit today as our patrons, but also kind of with her interest in early years, and particularly the first 1001 critical days. I think it just for our staff and for the women, for our staff, it was so meaningful for them, and it validates the work that they do. But I think for the women that are in the prison that she met today, again, they were just delighted to have met her. And for the two former prisoners to have come back to be able to share what their experience was of living on the mother and baby unit with the services that Action for Children provide. I think again that was so validating for our staff that work here.
Now on to my favorite, some animal news. Monty the giant schnauzer won Best in Show at the recent Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show in New York City. Monty, a 5-year-old male with an all-black coat, beat out more than 2,500 dogs from all 50 states in the U.S. The winners of each of the 200 competing breeds advanced to compete for one of the 7 group titles, with each group winner moving on to the finals. Monty had won the working group the previous 2 years as well, but failed to win the big prize until now. Monty celebrated by visiting the Empire State Building and was fed with a steak lunch at New York's Bar Below restaurant. The restaurant's executive chef, Daniel Guzman, hand-fed the top dog pieces of Wagyu ribeye cooked to rare to celebrate his win. Wow, I wish I was hand-fed Wagyu ribeye. What? That's amazing. I haven't even been to Barbo. Grab it, Monty. Take me with you.
Oh, give me a fork. I'm okay.
Yeah, same. Fork and knife pag hand-fed.
I'm like, chef, give it.
But alam mo,
Here you go, Mo.
congratulations to Monty. You know,
Yes.
third time's a charm. I think you
Yeah.
mentioned one twice
Yeah, he
before,
won twice
working dog
before.
class. I'm still rooting for my favorite breed, the Shih Tzu, because they won the toy category. That's Comet. One day, Comet. You're gonna make it, Comet. Let's
Oh my
go.
gosh, yo, his pigtail game is
Let's
so
go.
strong. I wish
Like-
my hair looked like that.
Like most Filipinos would be rooting for the Shih Tzu.
No, we're Team Aspen.
No, Aspen, yeah,
Team
okay.
Aspen. You know who my favorite dog, like a girl, our Bilyonaryo dog.
Yes,
our
the
resident
Bilyonaryo
dog.
dog is amazing as well.
We should take her to a dog show.
We should
Oh my
train
God,
her
we
first
totally
before we take her to a
should.
dog
She's
show.
such a good girl. She's all black coat too, and it's shiny and she's beautiful.
I
Okay,
know.
we're doing
we
it.
need to train her first.
Now I know what to do with Laika.
And that is it for us this Thursday, February 13, Valentine's Day tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Happy Galentine's Day. Thanks for making us your daily morning habit. Wherever this day takes you, remember to choose joy, spread kindness, and pack your own sunshine.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. Have a great Thursday ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Only here on
It's a beautiful day!